Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the next video. Extar. One of the questions one of my viewers asked is whether the screws to remove the handguard, I believe, are obscured by the metal of the upper receiver. So let's take a look in detail. And since I'm planning to take the handguard off to install the rails anyway, let's do it. First of all, of course, safety check. Nothing, safe direction, nothing special. Again, I don't enjoy taking the pin out due to little lack of interest in pulling my fingernails. So I'm going to use one of the chamber flags. Lower can go away. For now, I even have a nice setup to put it. Here's the upper. Let's take a look in detail at the screws. Here is one of the screws. I am going to get a flashlight to point specifically at that. The light that's actually going to go on here. Let me point this up for a moment. As you can see, hopefully, that the screws are not obscured by anything, and they're not Phillips screws from what I can see as documented in one of the videos that I watched on this topic. So I'm going to find a way to identify what those screws are. Let's see. I have a number of my tools. This is my trusty tool set. Very useful for many gun purposes. However, the screwdriver in this case might be a little on the short side. Possibly. This might actually be it. I do not know what size that is due to the lack of labels here. Okay, so the larger one doesn't fit. Let me make sure that this one doesn't fit. Sometimes some of them work better than others. Some of them don't. Okay, let's try this one. See, that's a more precise fit. Slightly larger. And my understanding is these screws are the ones holding the handguard. No actual idea yet, because that is not very well documented. So they're saying these are number 6 screws, and they don't do torque. Those are the 2 screws that retain the handguard and should not be over torqued. All they do is merely keep it in rearward position. So let's remove them. And I'm going to keep a little magnet nearby to capture them and keep them in one spot. Those look to be fairly long. Wow, I'm surprised. I'm naturally surprised. Look at how long these are. Okay, that's left side, and this is, I would say that this was going to be the right side, but it's actually not working. So, interesting. I'm a little surprised. Okay, it feels like it's stripped. Okay, so in this case I'm going to use a different one. And it does not work. Okay, that is a huge surprise. I'm going to try a bigger one or a smaller one. This is going to be a problem if I cannot take the handguard off. So this screw is not obscured by the handguard or the lower or upper in this case, but I cannot take it off. Now here's the screw from the other side, and it is perfectly compatible. Did I just run into a stripped screw? Maybe. Or something I cannot grab on. That is possible as well. I am going to stop and put back the screw on the left side and try to figure out what is going on. See, this works just fine. Let me see if with that screw in halfway, can I take this one out? No, I cannot. To me, it looks like the screw on the right side is somewhat stripped. However, I might need to go in search of a replacement bit, maybe. It looks like this might have been one of those screws. This doesn't fit. That is very surprising to me. I did not expect this situation at all. I can tell you that, budget or not budget, this should not be an issue. See, this one goes in, so it has to be a metric one. So that's number 6, right? So this is number 4, and it goes in and does nothing. Alright, so as an end result, I am not putting a rail on the Extar until I figure out the issue with the screw on the right side. And again, following the instruction from Extar, I'm not going to over tighten the screw on the left. I'm just going to get it back to the same position it was. This might actually force me to open my new toolkit. Okay, this is tightened enough. It is basically in the same position as it was. It's about at the same height. So that's the gist of this video. Number 6 screw. Don't over tighten it, and double check the condition. At the same time, yes, it doesn't protrude beyond the upper too much. Again, depends on the condition of your gun. On mine it does not, but the right one is stripped and I cannot take it out, at least with the simple screwdriver. I might find a torque wrench and see if that works better. We'll continue once I try that. Well, to continue the conversation, as I mentioned before, one of the screws on the handguard on the EP9 was stripped on the right side. I had to use a torque wrench after drilling it out a little bit to get it out, and it's not easy. Right now the upper is mounted in a rubber protected grip or whatever you call it, and I am getting that screw out finally. You cannot really see it, but this was the screw. As you can see, it was quite well stripped. So I had to use a torque wrench, torque screwdriver, a special bit and everything to get it out. Now I'm going to do the same for the one on the left side. Hopefully this won't cause me any issues as it didn't before. It was very important for me to use that flexible extension. To get it out, because otherwise it wasn't getting over that little piece that I will show you in a moment once I take this out. Again, many of you will not experience this issue for a very simple reason. Mine is one of the first batch of the EP9s, and they don't use a Phillips wrench. They use this one, whatever that special wrench is. So now I don't need this thing in a vise anymore. I have a portable vise installed. Here, this is what the EP9 looks like with the handguard removed. Oof, this was more enjoyable than necessary, but I got them out. And from the company, after contacting them, I received the new Phillips screws. However, the purpose I took this off and was planning to take it off is to install a Picatinny rail on this nice device. This really took some doing. I'm not a tools person. I'm more of the, as one would say, intellectual side. But every once in a while, have to get the hands involved, I guess, which is good. So as you can see, there's an Extar instruction for the handguard rail install. Do not over-torque the screws that retain the handguard. These are the removed ones. Interesting. They look very different from the new ones. We'll see how it works. And of course, here's the Picatinny rail polymer, which is fine for my purposes. My goal is to get this thing installed, right? Oof. Okay, so this is the bottom, this is the top, this is the right side. I want to put a light on this. And mount that rail at the 45-degree angle. I will skip actual mounting because I'm sure you're not interested in it whatsoever. Right? Right. No, well, a little bit. I will show you how it's done. So I have one of them already mounted. As you can see, the bottom rail is mounted exactly the same way. There are screws which I inserted already into the rail, and I just attach whatever this part is. Again, remember, English is not my native language for some parts. Connect it, hold it so that it attaches. use the provided little bit Allen wrench to tighten it down while holding the piece below so that it doesn't rotate. And again, doing the same from the other side. Bolt is here. Get it in there. Connect it. I know you cannot see it. Here's the handguard. This is the top. This is the bottom. This will be the right side 45-degree rail that I'm going to use to attach a light to. It connects with the 3 screws or bolts or whatever you want to call them that hook on the bottom. And that's all I probably need to show you. I'm sure most of you know how to do it a lot better than I do. Now this part is done. We can go on to the next one. But first of all, let's compare the 2 screws. Well, let's not look at the stripped one. As you can see, on the left side I have the regular Phillips, which are the new ones. On the right side I have the old one, which is whatever that weird shape is. I'm joking, of course, about the weird shape, but it's definitely not as common as the Phillips. So now, with the handguard completed, I'm only mounting rail on one side. Of course, rail was purchased directly from Extar. We can mount the handguard back on the upper and install the newly provided screws using a regular Phillips screwdriver. Oof. Again, don't pay attention to me oofing. That's just me being me. I'm going to make sure that the screwdriver works on the correct bit. Okay, it's this small bit. Does it work on the bigger one? It does, but it works better on this smaller. I don't know tool sizes, don't ask me, and I won't have to lie. Okay, so Phillips. I am probably not going to use a Torx wrench or screwdriver for this. I'm going to install it using regular screwdriver. As you can imagine, I just missed the connection port. There is only one. It's right here on the right side. And I tried to put the screwdriver into the one next to it. Well, you can enjoy having fun on my behalf. You're welcome to it. It is going in quite easily. Remember, this is the right side, the side that I had problems with. At the end, of course, there is a little bit of resistance. To avoid stripping, this is now installed on the right side. As you can see, it stands out a little bit, but not that much. Can barely see it, but that's okay. And the right side. Can I make the same mistake twice? No, I cannot. Amazing. Again, I removed the bolt, of course, before I went with this fun exercise. Have to be careful not to strip the new Phillips screws. I am using screwdriver not made out of steel. The bit, I think, are made out of brass or titanium, whatever that may be. On the left side, it is going in a little bit harder with more resistance, which can be expected. This one didn't have to be drilled out or torqued out. this looks like it is complete. I'm wondering whether the one on the right side can go in a little bit more, a tiny bit more. No, that's fine. Okay, so now we can put things back together. By the way, I'm using the magnet pad. Sometimes it helps to keep things from flying away. In some ways, very useful. Okay, which way does this go in? Not this way, this way. Or not. Hold on, what am I doing? This is the bolt. Okay, upper is done. I took the optics off for this endeavor, just to make it easier on myself. Don't quote me, I'm not an expert. Okay, now piece de resistance is going to be the main purpose why I did all this for. Okay, so if I'm mounting this, then here is going to be the rail. Again, I'm a lefty sometimes. So this is the light, and I am going to mount the pressure switch for it as soon as I find it, to allow it to be usable right here. And you will see that later when I'm done with upgrades to this nice firearm. Again, thank you Extar for excellent technical support and customer support. As a reminder, I did have to use the torque, I guess, wrench or screwdriver with a flexible connection to get this out, and a special bit that matched the previous type of the screwdriver that are going into trash, because now, like everybody, I have the same Phillips. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting if you want to comment, and we are done. I will show you what it looks like with a wrench. Here it is. Okay, the pressure switch, what do I call a wrench? A wrench. This is a pressure switch that will go on the left side, right here instead of a rail. And I'm going to do it after I mount an AFG to the bottom. We'll see how it looks. We'll see how it works. I'll see you later.